Oh my god. Thank you. Your last reaction, literally, like, you were the only other person on earth that I have talked to thus far that relates to me that way. Because I have had all these people who are just like when I was in Alaska, they're like, do you have bear spray? No. Do you have a knife? No. Do you have a gun? No. Well, what if you get attacked by a bear? I don't think it's in my cards to get mauled by a bear, but if it is, and, you know, that's supposed to happen, then so be it. And if that's how I'm supposed to die, then that's how I'm supposed to die. Like, I'm pretty sure after just, like, you know, almost dying from, like, God, I don't even, it would be like having cancer and then, you know, like, just being better from it. You know, like when you, because the thing is, like, I didn't technically do any medical intervention with everything that I went through. I did not go to a hospital. I did not undergo skin grafts like the naturopath said I should be. I was not receiving IVs like they said I should be. I was not, like, my body literally said, don't put anything on me or in me. Did I eventually start therapy? Yes. Was that super helpful? Yes. Did I go see the naturopath? Yes. Did they do energy healing sessions with me? Yes. Did they do some dry needling with me? Some acupuncture? Yes. Did I see Rachel during it for Reiki sessions? And Julia came over, Francis, Alicia, like, so many people helped me out with that stuff. Yes. But did I do any, like, Western medicine stuff? No. I even tried herbs with the astrologer, and my body fucking rejected that shit, like, hardcore. It was like, no. So it's like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I could literally die from anything at any moment. The universe is gonna decide that, or maybe I decided it in, you know, my life plan. But in my opinion, there's nothing I can do to control when that moment's going to come. When my time comes, my time comes. And that's, like, I think going through what I went through showed me that. Like, and it's funny that I'm wearing a seatbelt, because that's more because I don't want to get in trouble for not wearing one. Is it because I think it's going to save me in a car accident? No. If it's meant to save me in a car accident and that's why I'm wearing it, cool. But if I'm meant to die in that car accident, I'm going to die in that car accident. If I'm meant to die from COVID, I'm going to die from COVID. Am I, you know, like, whatever it is. If I'm cliff diving and hit my head on a turtle and that's how I'm supposed to die. That's, you know, like that one story. It's just, so I just think, I find it very fascinating how much we as humans try to control our safety, try to control what could happen to us. And another thing I was going to say is the whole living in fear thing. So, fear is a stress response. Fight or flight is literally meant to, if there's a lion coming at you, either freeze, flight, or run, right? Freeze, flight, or fight. Like, that is what that mechanism is there for. But when we start adding in stress to our lives, and then we start adding in the, oh, by the way, you might contract COVID, and holy shit, it's the scariest thing in the whole world, and oh, by the way, now that COVID's not such a big deal, we're gonna throw in a new Delta variant, dun dun dun, just to make the human population live in fear. Does nobody else see the equivalence to, like, the Nazis and Hitler and what he was doing? His was just a little bit more obvious and direct about it, you know, like rounding people up and doing the whole gas chamber thing. But having people live in fear is basically causing them a slow death, because we are not meant to live in a state of fight or flight, freeze, sympathetic stress response. That does cause damage to our bodies and disease. So basically, their fear tactics are causing everyone who is, brainwashed by it, a nice, slow, painful death. Or a quick one if, you contract COVID and have, the fear that you're going to die from it and end up dying from it. And, it's fascinating. And it is very weird to now be on the other side and realizing all the brainwashing that goes on, and just how many people are living like scared, mice in an experiment. And that's, I guess, a whole nother theory. I think I was telling you, there's multiple, theories of our existence, and I did know, because the women that I work with introduced me to this one, that apparently we're being controlled by aliens, and we're basically just like a computer simulation, and they're just pulling the strings and having fun. Who knows? But apparently that is actually like a simulation simulation theory that exists, that we are just all in a simulated reality. That one I could actually kind of get on board with, because of for me, when I was so ungrounded during the near-death experience, I was so ungrounded at that time, that when I looked at mountains and shit, it did not look real. It didn't look like it was there. I saw it, but it was I felt like if I could just, go gadget arm out and sorry, I made myself laugh on that one. I feel like if I could have just reached out and touched them at that given moment, I could have just touched right through them, which apparently some monk did, right? On a mountaintop in the middle of nowhere, he imprinted his handprint into, that was at the beginning of some book. I don't remember which book. I didn't make it too far into the book. Maybe that was the Joe Dispenza one. The one that I still cannot seem to get, I don't know, maybe it's just obviously not the right time for me to read it. Maybe there will be a right time for me to read it. Maybe it'll be the thousands of others that I've started reading, and then, not thousands, but, quite a few others that I started to read and then, didn't make it through. Maybe eventually those books will call back to me, Untamed. I made it into that one. I was like, holy shit, this really resonates with me. But then it was okay, yeah, that message is what I got, but I didn't keep reading the rest of it, because it was or listening to, because it was I got the message that I needed to get from it. Versus the NDE books, those two, holy shnikes, I was just glued to Audible with those ones. The Anita, Moorjani, the Dying to Be Me, and the can't remember the other one right now, but that one was awesome. The one that Rhonda suggested. So I do wonder about that, because of what and I think you said it's in the 4 agreements too, so I'm gonna have to, I started reading that one. I won't lie, I've been having fun flirting with boys instead, and texting boys after the kids go to bed, instead of either reading or watching TV. It's been fun. But the whole simulation theory thing is fascinating, because I actually, when I was driving yesterday, And I was driving in the reservation up in Scottsdale, and I was like, this, like, I was looking at the mountains in the distance and being like, I actually miss that feeling of looking at them and feeling like they're not real. Because now when I look at them and I see them. I don't feel like I could touch through them. And I feel like that's because I'm way more super grounded. And I'm actually very much so missing and craving that spiritual out-of-body experience. And I was scared of that during that time until my therapist said something about, which, if anybody needs an amazing spiritual therapist, Dona Morgan. Pretty sure I can upload this on YouTube and put the information for like those books and Donna in there. Is just like so I told her about it because my naturopath basically like shamed me for it and told me I needed to get more grounded. And when I told my therapist about it, she was like, why? She was like, it's a pretty cool feeling, isn't it? And I was like, yes, thank you. Like, thank you for not making me feel crazy. Like, feeling ungrounded and feeling like shit around you is not real is really, it was a really cool feeling. And I 100% miss that. Like, so, I think that's all I was going to say about that. I think I rambled as much as I wanted to ramble about all that. Oh, but the whole simulation thing, that's what I was going to say about, like, is there somebody else controlling it? I don't know. That part I do not. Do I believe in a higher power? Yeah. Do I know what that is? No. Do I see things like the sunlight in our videos now that I did not see before? Like basically showing me the connection to source? Yeah. Is that like freaking amazing? Yeah. But I am realizing, and I don't know that if I'm getting what I'm asking for now, because it's something that was always meant to be mine, and therefore that's why it's coming into my reality. And that, you know, if I ask for something that's not meant to come into my reality, does that mean it won't happen? Or does it literally mean that I can just ask for something and in some way, shape, or form, that's going to manifest itself into my reality? And then it seriously gets me thinking about things like, so if we all just stopped complaining about the fact that we're using up all the water in the world, right? And if instead we just said, you know, hey universe, like we have what we need for right now. We're cool with that. Cool. And then if it gets to a point where we're like, oh, okay, we're a little scarce. Like, universe, we'd really like more water. And if enough of us, like, asked for that, wanted that, believed in that, does that mean that we just, you know, magically, or maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe we're relying on water when there's something else that could be taking its place, and we just don't know it. Just thoughts like that. There's other ones that go along with that, but, like the whole government thing and being unhappy with them and just being like, yeah, I don't really want anybody telling me to wear a mask. I'm kind of over that. I just want to go about not wearing a mask anymore. I don't know. Fun stuff to ponder. But yeah, or, you know, like, so does that mean that there's both? I think that's the whole thing, is we know that there's something else out there, but we don't know what. So, like, some people say it's God, or various gods, or, you know, some people say it's science, some people say it's aliens. Like, I think we just have no fucking clue, like, how or why we exist. So we're all just coming up with theories, because in reality we have no fucking clue. I did get messages, like, the whole "we are one," like, that was probably one of the biggest ones. Like, I did get that, like, with the whole NDE thing. There were some other ones, but, you know, like, just that knowing that we are all connected, we are all one. Like, I did get stuff like that. So it's like, in reality, are we all just one big ball of energy, and then, like, we come down here and we somehow, like, maybe we're all one big atom? Is that the right word here? I should know this stuff, right? I took a lot of science. And we just each, you know, branch off as our own particle and get to grow as our own particle until we all go back to that same molecule. And yeah, anyways, I'm just not gonna even try right now. This is where somebody scientific can come jump in and state what I should really be saying right now. Because an atom's the smallest, like, particle, right? Is that? This is obviously why I was not meant to be a biochemistry major, and why I was meant to be a kinesiology major, and, you know, yeah, anyways. Explains a lot about my grades as a biochem major. Okay. I'm still seriously, like, euphoric after speaking my truth last night to my parents. Like, holy shit. I did not realize, like, I mean, I knew I was kind of holding that in, but I did not know just how good it was going to feel to finally speak all that to the people who were a part of the traumatic experience, and basically just finally let go of all the secrecy and shame that I had been holding on to literally for 37 years, right? Like, I mean, apparently I didn't even tell my best friend Kristen in Colorado that I was growing up in an abusive household. Like, I probably never told any of my friends, you know, that my dad was abusing my mom, and I didn't, which makes me, you know, wonder, when I was a kid and I was going through it, I used to scream and beg at my dad to stop. So I didn't know it wasn't right. But why I never told anybody, my God, I don't know. But it felt so good to finally just, like, open up and scream all that secrecy out. And just finally, like, acknowledge the big, huge elephant in the room of, you know what, this shit went on. It is what it is. And now I'm trying to heal from it. And the thing was, I wasn't hating on them, because I fully acknowledged the fact that my dad carried it on from his childhood. And that's the whole thing. He still had the veil over his head. I mean, I don't think he hits my mom anymore. I know he yells. I don't, you know, and to me, like, that's still abuse. It's just a lesser form of abuse. But, you know, like, to carry it on and me be sitting there in the background, like, yelling and screaming, begging for them to stop, and nobody acknowledging me. But it's like, you know, he, at that time, didn't know any better. He was, you know, just veil over his head, you know. My mom, same thing. Like, it's just, for whatever reason, I was blessed enough that in that moment that he did that in front of Callie. I was able to finally recognize her being scared and me saying, I don't want her to grow up like that. Now, did I allow all that stuff to happen, like, in front of Snickers, our dog? 100%. And he used to go climb into the tub scared. And that was like a lot of release of guilt during everything that I was going through, because it was like I put him through that basically like I was put through as a child. A dog is still, you know, a living being and should never have been subjected to that. But somehow I was able to connect it with Callie, and somehow I was blessed enough to finally be like, nope. But I have friends that I know are being abused or abusing, you know, mutual abuse of their spouse in front of their children. And it goes on. So, yeah, I don't know. Alright, that was a heavy one for the morning. I did not know it was gonna all go there, but, you know, it is what it is. I love you, and happy Wednesday, and I get to go on a fun date tonight that I will come back on here and leave a video about.